You're watching Fugitive Redeye, and welcome to another episode of Redeye Raw. Today I'll be talking about music, because music is a thing that I'm kind of weird about. Now, a lot of people are super passionate about music, and I've never been one of them. It's just never been a thing for me. Like, I like music, don't get me wrong, I love music. And I like, the emotion you can feel with music. But it's never, been, a thing that I'm super passionate about. When people ask me, so who's your favorite band, or what kind of music do you listen to? I have a hard time answering those questions because frankly, I don't care. I mean, I listen to a lot of old school music, like old school metal, stuff like that. I listen to Metallica. I listen to older Eminem. I don't like his newer stuff, but I like older Eminem. I liked Brother Lynch Hung. I like, Led Zeppelin. So that's older, obviously. I like some of the Beatles. I'm not, super crazy about the Beatles, but I do like them. I like Biggie Smalls. I like Metallica, obviously. I think I said that already. Metallica's one of my favorites, though. And Metallica's song 1 is probably my favorite quote-unquote song. I don't like to listen to a lot of real music, quote-unquote. So, even though I like to listen to Metallica, it's not, my go-to thing. What I normally listen to are soundtracks. That's what I go to. Be it anime soundtracks, movie soundtracks, game soundtracks. I just like to listen to soundtracks. I honestly don't care about regular music anywhere near as much as I like soundtracks. Soundtracks are so much more enjoyable to me. I don't know how to explain it. It's just how it tends to be. I obviously do like stuff like Rob Zombie and stuff too, but again, I like soundtracks. That's what I like. I don't really care about actual bands and music and stuff like that, and I don't get why people go so nuts about it. I've only been to one concert ever, and that was 2 years ago. I went to this festival where they had a few bands playing. It wasn't just a concert though. I wouldn't have gone if it had just been a concert. It was like a beer tasting festival essentially, and they had taco stands and stuff too. It was fun. They had wrestling. I filmed that. If you don't remember, a while back I did a video called "I Saw Some Wrestling" and it was at that festival. I had a good time, and the music I heard was fine. It wasn't anyone super big. I think the biggest band I recognized there was The Offspring. That was the only one I actually recognized by name. But I've just never been big on music. It's just never drawn me in the way it draws some people in. And I do like to listen to music. Like I said, I've got CDs. I've got an iPod loaded up with music. And a lot of it is real music, quote unquote. I got a lot of Hollywood Undead. A lot of older Eminem. A lot of Michael Jackson. I love Michael Jackson. If we're talking solo artists, Michael Jackson hands down is my favorite. So if we want to get technical there, Michael Jackson, top of the game, best guy. Now, if you want music, the member of Team Red Eye you want to talk to is Anthony, because he's the music guy. I don't really care about music. Anthony loves it. He's really into it. And like I said, I get it. I do, to an extent. I enjoy music, and I do get passionate about it sometimes. It can make me feel. It can make me tear up. But I'd say I'm more likely to tear up listening to the endings, the final theme from Hanabi, that being "Thank You for Everything." I tear up when I hear that, much more than I'd tear up hearing a sad song, and that's not always true. I've teared up hearing regular sad songs before too, but still. If you want to talk about some of my favorite music artists, Joe Hisashi does a lot of movie soundtracks. He did all of Takeshi's best movies, and he also did most of the Studio Ghibli movies. And he's done a few other things here and there. Joe Hisashi is easily my favorite, movie soundtrack composer. And I love the soundtracks in Rare that were done by the guy who did all the Rare soundtracks back in the day. I don't remember his name, I apologize for that. But the guy who did, Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64, stuff like that. But music is one of the things I'm okay owning almost entirely digitally. Anytime I buy music, I always buy a CD. I don't think I personally have any vinyl records, although there are some in the house. I do own quite a few 8-tracks myself, but they were handed down to me from a great uncle who passed away a few years ago. And I do have an 8-track player, too. And I've got a few actual tape cassettes, too, somewhere. So it's not like music is, completely lost on me. I actually had an English teacher that legit hated music. And I remember asking her, how the hell do you hate music? I didn't get it. It made no fucking sense to me. Again, I'm not super passionate about music, but I don't know how someone could literally just hate the concept of music overall. That's just retarded to me. I'm not big on dancing either. Dancing has never been a thing that I've been a fan of. I remember one time, this is going to make me sound pathetic as fuck, but I was at a middle school dance, and I went there because there was this girl I liked, right? And I sat down, Like, I walked up and talked to her, and she said, hey, and then she went off into a crowd of people, and I just got, like, socially anxious and went and sat in a chair in the corner for the entirety of that dance. That is the only time I've ever been to a dance, and I never went again because that was such a terrible experience. I don't know. I've just never been good at that sort of thing, and dancing does not really appeal to me. And that's not to say I haven't, like, quote-unquote danced. Like, I'll admit sometimes I might, move a little bit when I hear something. Like, not necessarily a dance per se, but, like, shaking your head or tapping your foot, things like that are kind of involuntary because of the sound of the music. That happens. And I will admit, like if I'm at, like, work or something, and I hear music, sometimes I can work faster. And I don't know if you'd count that, because that's kind of like dancing, right? You're kind of moving faster because of the music. And so I definitely see that there too, right? But yeah, that's all I really have to say on the subject of music and, to a lesser extent, dancing. Another thing I wanted to bring up, though, is just some things I've got in the works. Obviously, if you saw my earlier 2 videos today, I got new editing software on my big computer. Don't worry, I'm not going to be using that a ton because the nasty watermark. What I'm thinking is I might actually buy a license to it so I don't have that watermark. But some of my videos are still going to be edited on the old laptop with Movie Maker like they always have been. That's partially because I have some projects already on there, but also partially because it's easier because I have all my clips and stuff on there that I use. But eventually I do plan to wean myself off of the old laptop and use the big computer entirely. But that won't fully take effect for quite some time. And by the time it does, I plan to have actual editing software ready to go without the nasty watermark that Filmora gives it. Like, don't get me wrong, I love getting a chance to try it out, and I'm getting used to the software, and it is a very good app. It feels somewhat like Adobe Premiere, which I actually trained on. Like, I took a class specifically on Adobe Photoshop, Premiere, and there was one called Fireworks I think I used, and then there was After Effects. Or maybe I used Fireworks instead of After Effects. I can't remember. It's been so long. It was, what, two years ago now that I actually took that class? Maybe 3? I think 2, though. I plan on doing some more reviews, obviously. I've recorded 2 episodes of Takeshi Tuesday Season 3. So that's going to be coming out as soon as I get 3 more. I'll start the first batch. Because, again, I want to have 5 recorded at a time and then upload them, on a weekly basis, take a break, record 5 more, upload them on a weekly basis, take a break, etc., rinse and repeat until I'm done with the season. Then I'll take another break and potentially start Season 4. Hopefully Season 4 will be when things have normalized a little bit more. Because, obviously I'm still going through that strange sort of dark age on my channel, right, where I've been kind of antisocial and the most you'll get is, like, a heart on a comment. And that's, like, the closest thing you get to a response, because that's just how it's been. Hopefully that era will come to an end sooner or later. Again, that's all really just up to my personal feelings and my own personal situation on how things are easier and stuff. Obviously, things have been getting consistently better for me, although obviously there's a bunch of crazy shit going on with everything else in the world now, but, a lot of places require masks here now. They didn't, like, a few days ago, but now they do. And I've got my thoughts on that, obviously, but, I mean, I understand the concept behind it. It is kind of annoying. I mean, I don't think anyone is disputing that, regardless of where you stand on the issue. Most people, even the most, like, definitely throw it on everywhere. Even those people probably think it's annoying. And obviously, I've had to wear one to work and stuff like that for a while now, so it's not like it's that big a deal, but it is a mild annoyance at best. I finally got the computer set up, right? So now I've got access to the original audio file for Sergeant Friend's Breaking Bags. Now, if you don't know, that was a completely different recording, completely different take, and several jokes that were in that version didn't make it into the final product because we forgot to do them. So, I am currently editing that. I'm not doing a ton of editing. It's not going to be a full-on episode. It's just going to have, like, a couple of pictures, and it's going to have the audio. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm turning up the volume on Corbin's audio, because that was the major problem with the original version. And I will admit, that is something that Filmora does a hell of a lot better than Movie Maker. Filmora, I can crank the volume a lot higher up, so it's a little bit better. Like, it's still kind of quiet, but it's at least hearable now. So I'm slowly doing that. I'm also not upping my own audio because that would make it unbearable because you could hear me perfectly clear. And so it would just get really fucking loud if I up that audio. But I do have Iron Virgin June now, so I plan on watching and reviewing that at some point. Get some more Gona Guy shit out there, right? Obviously, that'll be done with the movie maker so that I don't have the Filmora thing. Because the Filmora thing, like I said, I don't plan to use a ton until I buy the license. Which, luckily, from the looks of it, they have a lifetime one. Which, if it's a singular payment, I don't mind that. That's fine. I can do that. Because that means I get it and I don't have to worry about it again. And it looks like they have that. I'm not 100% sure, but it does look like they have that. So, anyway, still more to come. The channel's evolving even more. I've got my computer now. Once I hook up the capture card, I'll start doing gameplay again. Not streams just yet, still holding off a little bit on the streams. But I will start doing some proper gameplay here in the future. Anyway, this has been Fugitive Redeye, and have a spadoinkle day.